evening, everyone, and welcome to Osun State Governorship Debate 2022, put together by Channels Television and its partners, the Election Situation Room. We are live in Osogbo, the Osun State capital. Tonight, 5 candidates who were selected through an independent survey will be talking to millions of people on their plans and how they hope to achieve them. A constructive dialogue is necessary to increase political accountability among public office takers. The candidates are also able to articulate their positions on public policy as well as intimate the people on their style of leadership and problem-solving abilities. This debate is a simulcast running on various platforms across the globe. The local television station, Osun State Radio and Television, and Rave FM are hooked up and broadcasting this program at some point live in Yoruba language. There are set rules and guidelines for this debate. The candidates are aware and they have agreed to those guidelines. This two-hour debate is divided into segments: security, governance, social development, economy, and of course, fitness to run for office. Before we move in full swing into the debate proper, let's listen to a message from our partners. Here is the convener of the Election Situation Room, Ms. Enna Obi.
Good evening. May I join Channels Television in welcoming you to this debate, or should decide 2022. On behalf of the Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room on Elections, I join our partner, Channels Television, who has been partnering with us for so many years on the debate. We have come to Osun State, and we are really excited about this debate. This is a humble contribution from the Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room on Elections to familiarize the candidates with their citizens. Is a humble support and solidarity for the people of Osun State. There are a number of concerns that we have, and we are happy to be having this debate this evening. For the candidates, you are all sons of Osun State. We want fair and credible election, and so we want to also commend INEC for the work that they have done so far, for the fact that the beavers worked in Ekiti much more than in the past. We hope that in Osun State, we will have a better work, the beavers will work more, votes will count. So we want to call on all citizens of Osun State that have the cards, your PVCs, to go out and vote for the candidates of your choice. We preach non-violence in elections. This is your choice for the next 4 years. If you don't make the right choice, you have to deal with whoever has been chosen for the next 4 years. We want to commend INEC for the work they have done. We commend the rec of Osun State for the preparation that they have done so far. And we hope that come July 16th, we will have a very credible election. This election is very important to Nigeria, to 2023. And so we want to commend all the team, and I want to say a big thank you to Sheung and the whole team, more than 40 people who work behind the scene to have the stage ready for this election. So we want to ask everyone, one of the major concerns we have is that of voter apathy. If you have your cards and you are not voting, that is that you have voted already. If you have your participation is your own involvement in the politics in Nigeria, and we need to deepen democracy in Nigeria. I commend all the civil society organizations who have come from far and wide, and those on ground in Osun State who have been working tirelessly for this election to hold. So commendations also go to the citizens of Osun State for all the workforce being on the queue, collecting your PVCs and now ready to decide. I want to say thank you and welcome to the debate. Well done.
Thank you so much, Ms. NLB, the convener of the Situation Room. Now for the record, None of these candidates who will be on the podium tonight, all the political party members, have seen any of the questions we're asking them. The audience here in this auditorium has agreed to remain silent. No cheers, no jeers, and any other form of interruptions. That way, and most importantly, you can focus on what the candidates have to say. Well, but the exception to that rule is now, as I introduce the candidate in alphabetical order, using their political party acronym. Beginning with the candidate of the Accord Party, Dr. Akin Ogunbiyi. Next, the candidate of the APC, the All Progressives Congress, Mr. Goyega Oyetola, followed by the candidate of the Labour Party, Right Honorable Lasun Yusuf. And the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Senator Ademola Adeleke. And the candidate of the Social Democratic Party, Architect Oyegoke Omigwadun. All right, now, thank you so much, gentlemen, for gracing these podiums. Good evening and welcome to the Osun Debate 2022. Now, the exception of the jeers and the clapping is now as we go in earnest to the debate. But before we get into all of that, shall we all rise for the Nigerian national anthem? Thank you very much, everyone. I'd like to remind you, wherever you may be watching across the globe, that you can follow the debate online. You can watch it live on channelstv.com or on our YouTube page. It's m.channelstv on YouTube, and of course on Channels Television. We'd like to also let you know that the Osun State Radio and Television Corporation is also live, and there is an interpretation of the conversation tonight in Yoruba language. Rave FM in Osogbo is also broadcasting this debate live. Thanks to our partners, the Election Situation Room and Financial Derivatives, for research material supplied for this debate. And of course, follow us using the hashtag OsunDebate 2022. I must sincerely thank the five of you for coming tonight for this debate. We're kicking off tonight's debate with your opening statement. Each of you is to tell people of Osun State why they should vote for you as their next governor. I'd like to begin with Dr. Akin Ogunbiyi, of course, of the Accord Party, and you have 90 seconds, 1 minute 30 seconds for your opening statement.
Good evening, citizens of Osun State. I'm Akin Ogunbiyi, a graduate of Agricultural Economics, second class upper in Obafemi Awolowo University, an executive MBA from Institute of Graduate Management Studies, Barcelona, Spain, and I'm an alumnus of Harvard University, Oxford University, and Yale University. I am the Awolowo of this era. And when I become governor, I will deliver free education, free health. I will deliver 100,000 jobs, and I will carry out local government elections within the first 6 months. Local government election is closest to the grassroots, and I will assure that election is taking place. My governor, I wonder why you cannot step down for me. Governor, you are my brother, and you have done it for 12 years. And of course, Egban Lasun, you are the eldest and of course the most popular politician in Osun State. I wonder why you cannot start to step down for me. And of course, my brother, Senator, you have been a senator. Why can't you step down for Akin Ogumbi, who has had enough experience, who has gathered enough experience? And of course, Goke Omigodo, you should be able to step down for your brother. After all, you wrote my first manifesto in 2018. I'm the founder of Mutual Benefit Assurance, a company that has become a conglomerate, a company that employed 5,000 people, employees. And of course, we have diversified into oil and gas, we are into real estate development, we are into microfinance banking. In fact, Mutual Benefit Microfinance Banking.
Ogumbi, your time is up. It's 1 minute 30 seconds. Thank you so much. Mr. Governor, you are next. The APC candidate. What makes you the preferred candidate?
Well, the good people of Osun, I'd like to thank you first for the opportunity to serve you for almost 4 years now. I attended early primary school, Iragbeji, Ifeoluwa Grammar School, Osogbo. Then for my first and second degree, University of Lagos. I have 30 years of experience in private sector. I have again 12 years of experience in public service. That makes me the best candidate for this job. Why am I running again? I've done so much within the little time I have, despite the challenges of COVID-19 and some other things. I want to consolidate on what I've done so far and take Osun to the greater heights where everybody will be proud of being, citizens of this state. I want to continue with all my development programs in infrastructure, health, education, security, technology, and a host of other things. I believe 4 years is not enough for me to be able to do so much. If you give me the opportunity again to continue, I believe I'll take Osun to desired heights. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Right Honorable Lasun Yusuf, is your turn.
Thank you very much. My name is Sulaiman Lasun Yusuf. I was born in Ilobu some 61 years ago. I attended my primary school in Ilobu, local authority primary school, Bobamu, where I left in 1972. I ended up at Ifeanyi Community High School, where I was a government scholar. I went through secondary school with government scholarship. And in 1979, I left Ifeanyi Community High School with a Division 1. I later attended the then University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, and had a degree in mechanical engineering. My NYC, my primary assignment was at the Shell Petroleum Development Company Engineering Department in Lagos, where I traveled far and wide in Niger Delta. I later joined the civil service of Oyo State before the creation of Osun State. Since 1993, I've been working for myself, and today I'm proud to say I'm an entrepreneur, an investor, and a farmer. And of course, I do politics too. Let me seize this opportunity to thank the people of Irepo Odun Olorunda Orolu Osobofara constituency for the opportunity given to me to serve them at the House of Representatives for 8 years. Because at the end of the day, I became the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives and one of the highest positions anybody can aspire to in Nigeria. While in the House of Representatives, I serve on different committees, appropriation, power, public service matter. And I was also the chairman of the Committee on Constitutional Review. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Senator Ademola Adeleke of the PDP, it's your turn.
Hello, my good people of Osun State. My name is Senator Ademola Jackson Nuruddin Adeleke. First of all, I have to thank you for the support that you are giving me and the one you continue to be giving me. In 2017, I contested for the Senate. I won landslide. In 2018, I contested for the gubernatorial. I won that election. Your mandate was stolen. This time around, I want you to be steadfast. I want you to go all out to retrieve your mandate. I was born 60 years ago, and my father, late Balogun of Ede, the senator of the Federal Republic of my Second Republic, a senator for that matter, and my brother, Esther Nena and Adeleke, taught us anything that you want to do in this life, there must be integrity. I bring on the table to the Osun people, my good people, integrity, steadfastness, accountability, and of course integrity, like I said before, so that anybody that wants to serve, you must have a fear of God. I have a fear of God. As you have done in 2018, I'm a graduate of BSc in criminal justice. And I want you to go out there, Senator, and vote for me again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator. Finally, on the opening statement, Architect Goke Omigbodun, in 90 seconds, please tell us why you should be the next governor of Osun State.
I thank God for this opportunity to be here, and I thank all of you who have been supporting me. Thus far, I cannot thank you yet for electing me into any office, and that's why I believe you should be able to elect me into this office now, and for a number of other reasons. First of all, amongst all the contestants, I am one person that was born here, bred here, and has all his businesses here. I am one that has the depth, the width, the height of education that is required for this kind of job, with a master's degree in architecture, or let me put it this way, postgraduate qualifications in architecture, business administration, geographical information system, education, and estate management. That cuts across so much. Very easily I will be able to analyze issues, and having been in and out of government several times, and I have remained in Osun, that tells you that I am committed to Osun. I believe in Osun, and the Osun project must be taken to higher heights. I believe so much in the Osun project to the extent that everything that I have been doing for some time now is located in Osun. So with that, I want to invite you that please come 16th of July, do not sell your votes. That's a critical thing I want to pass across. Don't sell your votes. Put it where it pays best. Give it to Goke Omigbodun.
Thank you so much indeed, everyone, for the opening statement. We're done with that. Then we'll dive straight into the issues confronting us as a nation. And then particularly in Osun State, security will be a good starting point. And I guess we agree that we should start with security, isn't it? And if this is going to be a general question, and we have 60 seconds to respond to it. What is your plan for security in the face of the seeming daunting challenges facing us? I'll begin with our party candidate.
Thank you so much. I will collaborate with all security agencies in Nigeria. The police, they are the ones that can prosecute, they can arrest and prosecute. I will work closely with Amatekun. I will actually enhance the capacity of Amatekun by recruiting more into Amatekun, and I will recruit from local areas so that they can effectively police the state. I won't allow Amatekun to carry arms because it's against the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The collaboration will support with technology as much as possible to ensure that at least all our areas are well policed. Again, we will ensure that all the KBACs, they at least will have one Amatekun guiding them. So at least if you have, that will create physical deterrence against any risk of attack. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Mr. Governor, your turn.
Thank you very much. In the first instance, Osun remains the most peaceful state in Nigeria today. We have the Joint Task Force, which takes care of issue of banditry, kidnapping, and armed robbery. You recall that since the inception of this administration, we don't have serious cases of armed robbery, kidnapping, and banditry. the force is doing very well. It's been supported by logistics in terms of vehicles and other logistics. Again, we are collaborating with the sister states on the issue of Amatekun. We farm it together, and it's very, very effective. I believe if it is possible, they should be enhanced by way of giving them, arms to be able to deal decisively with armed robbery and kidnapping. Again, we try to integrate the local system, the hunters, into the network to the extent that they collaborate with Amatekun to ensure safety of our environment.
All right, Honorable Yusuf.
Thank you very much. In the short run, because on security matter at the state level, you can only address it in the short run, and I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to develop a robust system for community development association. Let me state at this point that I commend the Southwest Governor for setting up Amatekun. So when I set up a robust community development association, when I become the governor, inshallah, they will work together with Amatekun to majorly do one thing: collect information, intelligence information, so that they can pass on to security agents. Don't forget that police is on the exclusive list of the Constitution. And so for now, there's little any state government can do. The Amatekun or whatever we form eventually can only have power of apprehension. They cannot arrest. So community development association that is robust, that is going to collaborate with Amatekun to collect data and intelligence information to pass to security agencies. That way we go. That's short run. Long run, we have to amend the Constitution to make sure there is state police and local police.
All right, thank you. Senator, what's your plan for security in the face of the daunting challenges facing us?
Thank you very much. As an expert in security, my plan is to make sure we have all the right equipment for our police. Despite the fact police is being controlled by the federal government, that doesn't mean. But in my state, in Osun State here, I will support the police by giving them equipment and, of course, giving them gadgets, surveillance. That is why I asked, Governor, the other time that our helicopter, we need it for surveillance. We don't know where our helicopter is, and we want to know today, because the Osun people have the right to know where our helicopter is. So, of course, when I was in the Senate, I passed a motion of community policing. I will develop community policing. When I was growing up in Ede, we have the hunters. They will block the road. They will search you at night to make sure that, where are you coming from? And I will develop community policing. Amatekun, I will develop them, give them training, and make sure it is not used for politics, as what they are doing today.
All right. Thank you, Senator. Actually, same question.
Thank you. I must congratulate Amatekun because everybody seems ready to equip Amatekun. And I can assure you, not only am I going to see how I can get proper training and adequate equipment for Amatekun, there are some other volunteer agencies that I'm going to integrate into the security architecture. We're going to seek all ways of making laws or amending laws or getting bylaws that will allow us to incorporate vigilante into security network, man-o-war, Peace Corps, and other paramilitary organizations. Right now, they are functioning locally around us, but they are not recognized. And most importantly, I have talked about something, I call it Agbada Oye. That Agbada Oye is going to be a hub of technology. From that hub of technology, a lot of things will come. I foresee a situation whereby drones will come. Rather than using drones only for photography, we can use drones for intelligence gathering and so many other things. But one thing, they are going to be better equipped and they'll be able to function better.
All right, thank you so much. We might be saying more on this because I believe that it's just as much as the people of Nigeria are concerned about security, the people of Osun State and not are also concerned. I will have an open discussion on the issue of security, and I would like the governor to respond what Senator Adeleke raised on the issue of helicopter. Is there something that the people of Osun State need to know about that?
Well, I've said it before now. Yes, there was an helicopter. It's still in existence. is with the supplier because of the fact that it is broken down. It has been done before now. It's been some 5 years ago. And I understand that the cost of repairing it is so huge that it will cost an average of about $300,000. If anybody wants to know where it is, I can supply the address. But repairing it with $300,000 at this time is not economical. So we've even asked the man to see if he can sell it or buy it himself. What is the point spending so much money on a machine that is not really working? So the issue of helicopter is there. There's nothing to it. Nobody has sold it. It's not been sold like they are making some insinuations. It's available. It's in Port Harcourt, and the address can be given to anybody that wants to see it. But the repair cost from what has been supplied is about $300,000.
All right.
I don't think it's reasonable for us to go ahead with it.
Yeah, Governor, if anyone is not satisfied, can come in. Another issue that was raised is the allegations of politicizing Amatekun. Have you done that?
Well,
here?
I don't think so. I don't think nobody is using Amatekun for politics. I don't agree with that. That's an insinuation that I don't agree with. Amatekun has always been used to take care of crimes, and they have been very, very effective, particularly in the area of kidnapping. They collaborate with hunters to go to the forest and pursue kidnappers. So for anybody to be saying it's being used for politics, I don't see any evidence. So that's not correct.
I see that you wanted to say something. It's an open discussion for the next 1.5 minutes. So if you're not satisfied, you might want to come in.
Well, I would want to add on the issue of Amatekun. Amatekun, we can actually localize them. We can recruit more into Amatekun, and we can collaborate more with assisting agencies by buying equipment for them, ensuring that they have effective policy of the state. And of course, working with the KBACs, they have a role to play in this. If we are going to keep, in fact, they are the closest to the grassroots. So if they have risk at the grassroots, it is the KBACs that will know. So we use Amatekun more on the issue of intelligence gathering, along with our KBACs, who actually the one who oversees the locality.
All right. Are we satisfied with some of those comments?
No, I'm not satisfied.
All right. Please, you just have a minute before we...
I want our governor to pledge, because the whole Osun is watching. This election is very, very important. Nigeria is the embarrassment to Nigeria is too much that we will see violence during election or after election. We don't want it anymore. Ghana there, they've been doing elections successfully. We want Nigeria to do elections successfully. I want our governor to pledge that Amatekun will not be used for politics. I want our governor to promise the Osun people.
Can you do that in 30 seconds?
I don't know what he's talking about. I've made my statement.
All right. We take a break, everyone. The matter of security is very important. We might be focusing and clear on that matter for a while on this debate. We take a break, and when we come back, we continue on the issue of security. Stay with us. It is Osun Debate 2022. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us on Osun State Governorship Debate 2022. 5 candidates are on the stage, and the issue of security is what we've been discussing before we went on that break. Welcome back, gentlemen. We're staying on the issue of security, and I'd like us to begin on the issue of cultism. Cult groups are very rampant, and in Osun State, we've seen cult clashes in Brewery, Ifofin, Idasa, Irojo, areas of, especially in Osogbo, there's been violence. And I'll take this question from the governor, then we'll be able to go around the room. Why has it been difficult to curb or to take out these cult groups that is ravaging and disturbing the peace of Osun State people, especially in Osogbo?
Well, I think it's important for us to please, first of all, look at what the conventional security people are doing. And that is part of why we believe if Amateku is given the opportunity, because they know the local terrain, they know those boys, they can be very effective in dealing with them. So it's an ongoing thing. We've been doing that. They've been collaborating with police to, reduce. I don't know precisely why it's like that, but with the collaboration between Amateku and the conventional security agencies, I believe we are going to eventually rid them of the state.
Dr. Akinwumi, how do we take out these cult groups and the violence in Osun State? A minute.
Let me ask the governor, is Osun government actually working for its citizens? Where are the beneficial values of government? What we are seeing is a sign of failed state. If you have agricultural endowment and we cannot create jobs for these youth, you have youth unemployment and you can't create jobs for them, they will have to look for something else to do. So cultism is part of failed state. If we are going to curb it, we must be able to provide adequate jobs for them. And I pledge, when I become governor, I will create 100,000 jobs through agriculture, through industry, through our mining. I will structure a good investment plan for our mining so that our youth can have good jobs. Again, if you look at the mining as it is today, we have not been able to take advantage of the presidential artisanal miner initiative in Osun. So when I become governor, I will ensure that is done so that it will be restructured. We're going to partner with internationally reputable mining corporations.
All right. Thank you.
Honorable, how do we take out the cult groups?
Thank you very much. When you talk about cultism, you can only take out something you understand the working system, something that is not amorphous. So since I'm not a cultist, I don't know how cultists are defined. I don't know how they are defined. But what I will say, because you can't take out what you don't know, but what I know is that violence is prevalent in our society because of the fact that we now have that age group of people with low esteem, no hope for better life. They don't care about their living again. And it's born out of one, poor education, poor parental background, non-existence of economy, and the hope for future is dimmed. Once you are able to solve these problems, then definitely there's not going to be violence. I can only answer a question on violence. I can't answer a question on cultism because I don't know who a cultist is. So what I'm saying in a sense is that you must develop an environment with people with good education, very good esteem, low esteem everywhere. You see people sagging their side. And let me tell you one bitter experience that I had this afternoon. I went to Ede to go and do a campaign. Somebody just jumped in front of my car and he said I should give him money. He created a scene and he stopped me for 45 solid minutes. He wanted me to give him money. One area, but Ede, not quite 3 hours ago. So how do you say that?
All right.
What do you say about that?
Honorable, thank you so much. Senator, it's your turn. How do you take out cultism and these cult groups and the violence that they're perpetrating in Osun State? 1 minute.
Thank you very much. My brother here is talking about Ede because I'm from Ede. He happens to me in Ilobu. It happens to me in Ilobu too. Hello? It happens to me in Ilobu. Everywhere you go, it's everywhere. Because there's no job, they are not educated. The government wanted to give a job. They ask people to come and pay for the form. How can you be asking people, the poor people already, that are looking for a job, to come and collect the form and they pay? You announce 30,000 jobs that you're going to create, that you're going to have. 1 year later, only 1,000. Is that fair to the poor people? Why are we collecting money from them? Why can't we just give them form and say what we mean? Not that we will just talk for talking's sake. When I get here, whatever I say, the integrity, my integrity, stand. That's what I'm going to do. Education.
All right. Your time is up, sir. Mr. Mingwadu, courts, the actions, the violence in Osun State, how do we take them out?
Yes, thank you. I'm also not a cultist, but I know how to take out cultism, because that's one of the reasons I want to be governor. I must have a way around things. And when I was mentioning the other organizations that I will involve the other time, because of time, I could not mention the OPC. The OPC too will be involved. But I believe that the idle hand is the devil's workshop. So when you have a lot of youth that are jobless, there is no way they will not constitute a menace for the society. So that's why, beyond the electricity that I said I'm going to put into Osun, that will make many more jobs to be more functional, beyond the job creation hub that I said is going to be in the similitude of the one in Silicon Valley, I also have certain things that I put the acronym of MAT on: mining, agric, tourism, technology. By the time you have all of this, there will be only one thing left for me to do. I see cultism like a puddle of water. Carrot and stick approach will handle it. Let there be an outlet for that water to go. That is the carrots. The ones that are clean will go. The ones that are the dredges will have to be flushed out eventually.
All right, thank you. On this issue of security, I'll still be staying on it. And I like to take an example, because Ondo State is a neighboring state, and there was an attack on the Catholic Church in Owo, in Ondo State. That attack, the federal government says it was backed by ISWAP, the terrorist organization. Now that is a neighboring state. That should send a signal to a state like Osun State. Now the thinking is that those who want to be governors of Osun State should start thinking of how they will not allow such a thing to happen on their own soil. Now, the governor of Zamfara State has said people of the state should defend themselves by obtaining weapons. I'd like to begin with you, Dr. Akinkunbi. Would you subscribe to such approach in fighting the terrorists or any form of attack or violence in Osun State? Subscribing to people of Osun State arming themselves with weapons. 1 minute.
It's unfortunate where we have found ourselves. And of course, it is not right for anyone to go against the Constitution to carry arms. But aside from not carrying arms, when I become governor, I will make surveillance more critical and more important. I will treat surveillance as a key to curbing the menace of kidnapping, banditry, and so on. But most importantly, we can work with police, empower them, give them capacity, and collaborate with them the more. And along with Amotekun, somebody mentioned OPC. Yes, OPC is there. And of course, local hunter. If you have the intelligence beforehand, you'll be able to deal with the issue of banditry. Intelligence is very critical, and the only set of people that can work on that is Amotekun with our KBACs. I emphasize, our KBACs will have a role to play in the issue of risk management.
All right, so I'd like to give you a follow-up on that. Would you be subscribing to arming? Asking, for example, you subscribe to Amotekun and OPC operating effectively, but would you be subscribing, giving them weapons to be able to do their jobs?
I will not give them weapons because it is against the Federal Republic of Nigeria Constitution. But if they can tinker with the Constitution, yes, that would be an ideal. But as long as they have not changed the Constitution, I will not do anything illegal against the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
All right. The APC candidate, Mr. Oyetola, would you subscribe to arming the people of Osun State to defend themselves by carrying weapons?
No, that will result to anarchy. I won't encourage that. I won't encourage that. But I'm of the opinion that it is not out of place for the Amotekun people to be able to carry arms. I think, given the fact that they tend to look for opportunity of having kidnapping reduced in a state, it is important for them to carry arms. I mean, what is the essence of you following a kidnapper to the forest at the end of the day, you can't arrest or you can't, apply weapon. So I think it's not out of place. Although legitimately, they won't carry out until they have been asked to do so by the law. But I think it is something that is desirable. If we don't have state police now, the Amateku should be encouraged to really carry arms.
Honorable Yusuf, your own solution.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I offer my condolences to those who lost their lives in the attack. Very unfortunate. But while I was answering one of the questions in the past, all of us are just diverting attention from the fundamental problem of security in Nigeria. And what it is about our constitution. Once police is on the exclusive list of the constitution, there is little we can do. It's only police that has power of arrest, and it's only police that can prosecute. What am I saying in effect? I said I would develop a community development association robustly to work with Amateku. The most potent part of security is intelligence gathering. You must have intelligence information about people who live in the environment. Nigeria has the most porous borders everywhere. People cross over into our country just anyhow. So we don't even know how many we are. So all these things are attached to security. We don't know how many we are. People just enter Nigeria in droves. So Community Development Association working closely with Amateku and developing a very sound, solid, intelligent gathering system.
So I'll do a follow-up on that. I'll do a follow-up on what you said. You're talking about the Constitution and fixing the Constitution. I think if you were elected a governor, how do you do that?
Yes, I will have to first of all speak with my colleagues. For the first time in the history of Nigeria, we must make a deliberate effort, because the major problem of Nigeria today is the Constitution. When you have a Constitution with about 38 items on the exclusive list, go and check other foreign countries, developed countries. They normally have 5 items at the federal level. 1, military, foreign affairs, currency matters, central bank, or what you call research, and issues of passports. Those are the things the government at the center concern themselves with in the developed country. But where you have federal government of Nigeria talking about education, establishing university, let me say here, people don't even know that in America, election is never organized by federal establishment. It's organized by the state government. So the major problem of Nigeria as a country is the Constitution, based on the fact that 38 items or more are on the exclusive list. Even the concurrent list you are talking about, when state is even allowed to make laws, when your law is inconsistent with the federal, it goes to nullity. So it's about Constitution.
All right, thank you. Senator, is your turn. Would you be subscribing to the people of Osun State defending themselves by obtaining weapons?
Well, it's just a pity. They don't even have the money to buy the weapon anyway. They don't have the money. Well, I think when I was in the Senate, I developed what they call, like I said before, community policing. When I was growing up in Ede, you have what they call neighborhood watch. Neighborhood watch, they know each other from door to door. If a stranger comes in, they will alert each other. So they work together. I will talk to our KBSC, our royal fathers. The way we used to do, I will bring it back. Let's have neighborhood watch. They call it in a form of community, policing, so that we can attack the security that is coming into our neighborhood. But I agree with my brother here, Lasso. It's a constitutional matter, and you don't want to go against the Constitution. But maybe later, when the Senate or the House of Rep, when they amend the Constitution for us to have a state, police, which I supported when I was in the Senate, and of course, I will agree with that.
All right, Architect Omibodo, it's your turn. 1 minute to do that.
Straight away, I'll tell you that I do not believe in citizens carrying arms. We are all quick to cite examples of certain wonderful things happening in other parts of the world, but when those things also go awry, we should remember that in Illinois recently, in Texas, in New Jersey, there were cases of shooting, and in many other states. So is that the kind of thing that we want to bring to Nigeria? I don't think that is it. Rather, I also agree with those that believe that there should be devolution of powers. I've always been a voice screaming for the devolution of powers, but who would hear the voice of one Gokiomi Bodu, who is just in one corner in Osogbo? But if I become governor by God's grace, or do I say when I become governor by God's grace, one of 36, then when I say let there be devolution of powers, it will be Governor Gokiomi Bodu has called for the devolution of powers. And then the people will be able to do what is necessary for us to have community policing so that everybody can feel safe without carrying arms.
All right. We might be entering into a fluid discussion on the issue of security before the top of the hour, but I like the opportunity for the candidates on the stage to be able to clarify a few issues in relation to security, especially as it concerns the election. There are fears about the possibility of violence, and there are already people talking about the violent-prone areas as we go into the election. But let me ask a specific question to the candidate of the PDP. I'm not sure, I don't know if you've seen videos that have surfaced online about some of your candidates in your party. One allegedly talking about using bomb to repel those carrying guns. Another one seen in a viral video talking about the opponents being stoned. As you stand on this stage today, this concerns the security of the people of Osun State. How would you address your supporters and the members of your party in relation to possibility of violence and a peaceful election in Osun State?
Thank you very much. Everybody know our family. Very peaceful family. We don't disturb anybody. We go our own way. We preach peace every day. Let me tell you a story. In 2018, when our mandate was stolen, when they called the inconclusive fame and they did the election, they carry cutlass. They were killing our people, throwing stone, shooting. Challenge was there too. You saw it. Fact check. They were doing all that. But people came elders to my house, said, we want to go and attack back. I said, no. We are very peaceful. We're going to retrieve our mandate through legal means. And that's what we did. We won at the tribunal before they start magic again. Magic of...
Thank you so much, Senator.
I'm sorry, Osun. I'm sorry.
I don't know, Mr. Governor, if you...
Let me reply. I think you stayed dreaming up to now. You pursued your case to the Supreme Court and you lost. And that's the highest court of the land. So the idea of you talking about stolen mandate, I don't know where your mandate is stolen. The court has decided precisely who wins that election, and it is me. So please, don't say that. Again, I take exception to Agogubi's reference to the state as failed. The indices are clear. The state is doing very well by any standard. So you say you want to create 100,000 jobs. It's theoretical. I've created several other jobs through industries, through mining, through agriculture. Several of them that you can't even quantify. So for you to say I'll create 100,000 jobs, how do you do it?
Yeah.
So don't ever refer to this state as failed. If it is failed, you will not be contesting today. That's the truth.
Go ahead, Dr. Ogumi, if you may.
Yes, I say it emphatically that the state has failed because there is nothing that you have done to diversify the economy of the state. There is no, the only job you created for the youth is thuggery. you created OYS for graduates like you, like myself, who graduated from school, and the only best job you can create for them is OYS job. What is the state of the schools now? Where are the roads? Are you saying that one flyover in 12 years is sufficient for infrastructure development? Come on.
Sorry, please. So you want to respond to that?
Let me put the record straight.
Right.
I've constructed well over 500 kilometers of roads across the state. I've constructed well over 500 kilometers of roads across the state.
In my...
The facts are there for anybody to see. By the grace of God, I will construct the roads from Oshogbo to Iwo, and I'll get to your village.
You get...
All right.
You are...
Gentlemen.
You say you have constructed 500 kilometers of road, and it is during the election that you remember to patch the road from Oshogbo to Iwo. When you got to Ada, you stopped. Why have you not constructed it in the last 4 years? Why wait until election time to deceive people?
All right. Because we're focusing on security, and I'd like us to go on a break before we go. There is also a direct question. You'd like to respond, please?
Of course, yes. You are talking about political violence.
Absolutely.
And everybody is missing the target. Most politicians perpetrate violence before, during, and after election because their private life is not well defined. A human being must be defined by your public appearance and your private life. If you have a solid private life, what do I mean? Although they will call it a second address. If you know if you go to election and you fail, and you have a job to return to, you can cause violence. Look at me. Can I call for a violence in Oshogbo, for example? When today I'm probably, unquestionably, I'm the only highest stakeholder in Oshogbo economy. So if your private life is solid and you're a politician, you won't cause violence. It's because people don't have private life. That's why they cause violence in politics. And let me tell you this. We are just beginning to rise up to what is called politics and democracy. Politics and seeking for public office is a job interview where you'll be able to come out, tell people who you are, what you are in your private life, and what you are going to do for them.
All right. We'll do for a break, gentlemen. We might be able to rest the issue of security for now and go into the economy, the debt profile of the state, and how those who are seeking the #1 office will handle that crucial matter. We'll take another break and we'll be right back. Stay with us, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. It's the Osun Governorship Debate 2022. Don't forget, you can follow the conversation using the hashtag Osun Debate 2022 online. And also, we are live on Channels Television and, of course, on our web page and on channelstv.com. Locally here, Osun Radio and Television, OSRC, is live in Yoruba language, and Rave FM is also live with us. Let's now dive into the issue of the economy. And I'll begin from my right this time around with the candidate of the SDP. IGR to budget ratio in Osun State is estimated to hover below 15% for the past 4 consecutive fiscal years. If elected as the next governor,
I didn't hear that.
Let me take it again. The IGR, the internal generated revenue to budget ratio in Osun State, is estimated to hover below 15% for the past 4 consecutive fiscal years.
Yes.
If elected as the next governor of Osun State, you will inherit the 2022 budget of 129 billion, which is expected to be financed with IGR of 19 billion. That's 15% of the budget.
with the dwindling federal allocation, how do you intend to finance this budget? 1 minute, please.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is to stop wasteful spending. There is a lot of wasteful spending right now, just paying party cheerleaders. Every chairman of the ruling party in every ward, 389, the vice chairman and all the other expos, whether directly or indirectly, are drawing salaries. These salaries do not come from heaven. They are coming from the resources of Osun State people. So by the time you stop wasteful spending, then you begin to see things. It is amazing that we have, for that budget of this year, 76 billion of it is for capital expenditure, when just 2 or 3 years ago, the entire budget was just 82 billion or so. So now you have 76 for capital expenditure. What have we seen on the road to justify this? But beyond the immediate, I've just spoken about the immediate, I am looking into something. Within 3 years, I'm going to make sure that we have an oil palm plantation. Let me explain this very well. I just discovered by accident that crude oil sells in the international market for $103.76, $103.76. But I discovered that palm oil sells for 149.6, same per barrel. So why is it that we are not tapping back into that when Africa is the best place for oil palm? It was taken from here, but right now 85% of oil palm in the entire world is between Malaysia and Indonesia. Osun is going to take its position back within 3 years.
Senator, same question to you. How do you plan to fund the budget with the state of the next budget with the state of affairs of the economy of this state?
Thank you very much. My people, sorry you. Well, I agree with Aki Okubi that this present administration is a failed administration, because there's nothing to write home about in terms of economy. You can go around sharing, go and see yourself. All the roads around is so bad. Anywhere you go, it's so bad. I travel everywhere. People are crying. They are hungry. Nothing for people. So the government even need to apologize. Of why our people are suffering.
Silence, please. Silence, please. Silence. You may continue, Senator.
Well, because I hear the governor talking about paying salary. That is not an achievement. A government supposed to pay salary anyway. They're supposed to pay salary. Anybody that works must get paid. So that is not an achievement. I will bring investors into our state. I will bring investors. For example, the agri. I will make sure we train our young people to do agri, micro agri, and even help them to grow.
Yeah, thank you.
And our solid minerals that we have. A lot of people, when they're doing the solid mineral, all the money that is coming out is being pocketed. And we block the loophole where our money is being taken out. It will not happen again. Never again. It will not happen. And I will make sure no more corruption. God help me.
Thank you so much, Senator. Honorable. Silence, please. Silence in the auditorium. Honorable, please go ahead.
First and foremost, what is a budget? A budget is an act of assembly that contains statements of government spending that is going to be financed by revenue derived from taxes. That's what budget is all about. Act of assembly containing statement of government spending that is going to be financed from taxes. And how do you finance a budget when taxes are going to be derived from 3 major areas? 1, income tax, then tax on companies from their profit, and finally what they call sales tax, which is value-added tax. So these are 3 sources of taxes. It means a government runs better on taxes But where there are no economy, how do you finance? How do you get your tax? The rate of employment here is about 4%. How do you get taxes to run a budget? So the first solution is to create an economy. That's the only way you can get taxes, because government runs by taxes. You don't write a budget when you don't have proper tax regime, and you can only collect tax for people who have jobs. You can only collect tax for people who have money in their pocket to make purchases, so that value-added tax can go up. So please, it's a complex matter. People in government don't know how to transit from writing a budget, from collecting taxes, and if they know, they should know that if you have economy, then when people are employed, then you'll be able to finance your budget.
Honorable, thank you. The APC candidate, it's your turn to tell us how you hope to finance the budget in the face of a dwindling federal allocation.
Well, let me reply, Senator Adeleke. The state is doing very well. I constructed the road.
Please go ahead. Silence, please. Silence. Silence.
I constructed the major road that passes through Ede to Ejigbo when I became the governor. And you can attest to that. That road has been abandoned for about 20, 30 years. So where is the issue of failure here? Having said that, I think it's important for us to be creative when it comes to financing the budget. You can't rely entirely on tax. You have other means of funding budget. There are other means. For instance, people will be wondering why I've been able to pay salaries and pensions at the same time and still do infrastructure. I created a concept, alternative project fund approach. I collaborate with contractors that have the means. We have an understanding, and I pay in piecemeal. I'll be able to deliver a lot of these roads without necessarily borrowing from anywhere. And as I speak, I've implemented up to 70% of the budget as I speak now. So it's not an issue.
All right. Dr. Akingumi, it's your turn.
Thank you so much. The solution is empower people, create more entrepreneurs that can bring into tax bracket. The only way you can sustain or you can fund your budget is to ensure that people have jobs to do, and I'll do vocational training for all our youth. They can go into tie and dye. We can go into hide and skin. In fact, we can get a whole lot of the youth to diversify and train them in all this vocational training. I will give interest-free loan to women, to our mothers, and we can do that through social intervention funds. So, if you create jobs, like I said, we create 100,000 jobs. ICT alone, ICT hubs, we can create ICT hubs around the state, and that can generate about 50,000 jobs. If you have people who are endowed, who are employed, who are self-sustaining, they will pay taxes. You don't need to force it on them. So taxes is a major source of funding the deficit of funding the budget.
All right, thank you so much. And I'd like to begin with you, Dr. Ogunbi, and we go all the way back. Foreign investment inflow is a veritable engine of growth and economic development. Let me give you some background. Osun State is known for low level of foreign investment, with a record of only a total of $29 million in the past 13 quarters, 3 years plus. In the first quarter of 2022, a total foreign investment into Osun was zero. If you are elected as the governor of the state, what would you do to make Osun State a choice destination for foreign investment?
Thank you. You know my background. I have a very successful entrepreneur. I started a company with 5 million naira, and it has become a conglomerate. I've been trusted, and I can be trusted. I have integrity, and because I'm part of the corporate world, people in the private sector will trust me to bring in their money. We will create development funds around our mining, and we will use private participation. In this, mining alone can create a whole lot of jobs for us. If we structure it along the Presidential Artisanal Miners Initiative, we'll bring in, we'll partner with very notable mining operations. And if you do that, it will not be a case of Chinese artisanal miners who are damaging the land, mining and damaging the land. It will be a case of mining and reclamation. So I will buy cranes for the legal miners, we'll register them, we'll buy cranes for the excavator for them, and we create a buying center. It's a shame to have a state that produces gold, and there's no company that is refining gold in Osun State. That will be my first creation within the first 6 months.
Mr. Governor, should you be re-elected, what would you do to ensure that Osun State is a choice destination for foreign investment?
Well, let me say this. In 2019, we had the first Osun Investment Summit. And immediately after that, you could see that we have attracted capital inflow of about $29.9 million. That's to show that, the effect of that summit is seen. But for the fact that, and we've actually had a number of companies that have established here. If you go to the free trade zone, you see some of them. You go to Dagonu.
Please go ahead.
You go to Dagonu, you see some of them. You go to all these places, you see some of them. They're talking about mining. I think all these things we will do this. These are things we have been doing. We've attracted Baja Mines. Baja Mines is the first company to produce 12.5 kilograms of gold. The gold is there. They have a buying center, and they've employed a number of our people. In addition to that, we have no less than 4 other companies that have signed MOU with us. They are doing excavation as we speak now. We don't want to encourage too much of artisanal mining because of the issue of damage to the environment. We're looking at responsible mining. This is what we have been doing on mining.
All right. Honorable, foreign investment. How would you make Osun State a choice place destination for foreign investment should you be elected?
First, by making sure that government gets itself involved in the business of building businesses. So many people who don't know, we say government has no business in business. Whereas government is the only entity that never dies, it's a continuum. Government is the only entity that is credible. And I wonder when, for the first time, I will do that tonight, when the government said there was an economic summit. Any economic summit in Osogbo that did not involve people like us who are taking risk to invest billions here, it's no economic summit. It's not. You can only have foreigners to come to your environment when you yourself are taking the risk. Nobody is taking any risk. People are just building residential houses. No factory, no businesses, and you want a foreigner to come and start investing his money when you are not even yourself investing. So I will get government involved in doing business. And I've seen this when Mr. Agiel Gogomigod was talking about palm plantation. As of today, I have 500 acres of palm plantation, and the last government used political differences against me to send me out of 1,203 acres of land in Iloba Ijesha that I will have developed to international standard now. People here must take risk. You must establish business. Government must get involved in establishing business. When foreigners see that, then they will not come with their money. Foreigners will not come and invest their money when they do.
All right. Senator, silence please. Senator, how would you make, in the face of the dwindling federal allocation, how would you make Osun State a choice place for foreign investment?
Well, thank you very much. Well, as you know, I'm an international guy. I have connections. And I introduce what they call fact check. Whatever that we say here, you must go and check it. You must check. Now, all of us are running for governor here. We must first of all ask ourselves, what have we done into our state? What have you invested in your state before you can become governor and bring investors? Number one, I will make sure corruption is to a minimal level, so that people that want to come and invest, we know that they will not put their money in their pocket. That's what they are thinking of, and they know what is going on. They check every day. They check every day. They want to come and invest. Which road are they going to pass through? Which road? The airport that we're supposed to have completed is still there. We're going to ask them to bring their chopper and land Osun there. We can't nowhere to be found. So now when I become governor, already I have a blueprint already. I'm talking to my people, the investors. They are ready to come and invest in Osun State, and that's what I'm going to do. I make sure I promise them that there will be no corruption.
Mr. Bigbodo, it's your turn. 1 minute, please.
Thank you. I believe in public-private partnerships, but there should be a limit. So there's a limit to which I believe government should go into business. But that's just as an aside. I studied the economies of two particular states. And in studying the economy of those two states, I got this inspiration, which I call Agbada Oye. That is a job creation hub that is ICT based. I studied the economy of California, and I discovered that until 1971 and then thereafter that Silicon Valley got into that place, the economy of California was just like the economy of any other oil producing states there, like Texas. They were all competing. But right now, California is light years ahead of the rest and is able to compete with the rest of the world, and never more than 7th position. I studied the economy of Karnataka state in India, and I discovered for California, when eBay, Hewlett-Packard, and Adobe got in there, they started paying taxes. That was foreign investment coming in there. For the other place in Bangalore, Flipkart got there, Wipros got there, Zoomcar got there, Hacker App got there, and all of them just started pumping a lot of money into the place, employing young people, making sure that the economy was stifled, and everything was happening. Then the last thing that I need to mention, because I've mentioned it briefly, is about the oil palm revolution that I need to do. I must reposition the OSICOL. There's the Osun State Investment Company Limited. There is the OSIPA, Osun State Investment Promotion Agency. I hardly hear anything about these things. I'm not one of those governors that will say because I don't agree with the previous governor, you just throw away anything he does. I'm going to reposition these agencies. I'm going to make sure they're able to get in.
Thank you very much. Before we close this round and go into another break, one important area I would love for us to go into the issue of mining, but it does look like we mentioned it. But let's go into another very important aspect, which is the issue of debt profile and debt financing in Osun State. And I'll begin again with the SDP candidate. So let's take a look at these figures. As at 31st March 2022, Osun State's total debt stood at 175.2 billion. With the current global monetary tightening, it is expected that the cost of debt service will escalate, and this could worsen the current fiscal crisis in the state. How do you intend to reverse this ugly trend, pay off the debt, and meet the ever-increasing state obligations should you be elected? 1 minute.
I will just repeat myself and explain more properly. When you have a budget right now of 76 million for capital expenditure and we cannot see anything to justify that, there's something wrong somewhere. So capital expenditure must be used to provide infrastructure. And at the same time, I've said that I'm going to stop all wasteful spendings, just giving party members as cheerleaders money, 10,000 naira a month of Osun State money, whether directly or indirectly. That thing must stop. We've been making so much noise about it. It must stop. And by the time we do all this, I've also spoken about Agbada Oye. All of this will bring a lot of money into the economy. I've spoken about the oil palm revolution. What do we want to do with the money if not to pay all outstanding debts, whether domestic or external, including those of pensioners and workers before they all die off? So those are the things that we intend to do. We'll pay the external debt, we'll pay the domestic debt, and we make sure that Osun State has a clean state.
All right. Senator, your turn.
Well, thank you very much. Well, like I said before, the debt profile of Osun State is alarming, and it's so sad. Looking at 11% of that increment in debt, that is very sad. Because I feel for my people. I feel for my people every day. How can we have increment of 11% of debt that we have to pay? So what I'm saying is that I will first of all block the leakages where all our money is going. I've said that before. Our money will not be going out. Our money will stay in Osun State. Osun State money for Osun. I will not be bringing people from Lagos. Our people in Osun State here, they are very, very smart. I will use them. Maybe contractor or who whatsoever, whether direct labor, I will save money.
All right, Senator. Thank you. Honorable, on debt servicing, how do you handle that? Sorry, please go ahead. Silence, please. Go ahead, Honorable.
Let's first of all have a base for why we have debt at all. There are three types of budgets: surplus budget, deficit budget, balanced budget. We pile up debt because we have been writing deficit budget for a long time. And why is it deficit budget? Government borrow money to do infrastructure, whereas in proper budgeting balance, you must borrow money to invest so that the venture you invest on can pay back. There's nothing bad in borrowing money to do road, but you have to tow the road. You can only build infrastructure from taxes. That's why the issue of tax is central to budget. So we've been having debt because we have been borrowing money to do infrastructure. When I get here, I'm going to borrow money to invest and do infrastructure from taxes. If I'm going to do infrastructure at all, it will be infrastructure that can pay back so that we can begin to lower the rate of our debt. There's nothing wrong in borrowing, but you must borrow to invest.
But would you raise taxes to raise IGR?
No, it's not a direct answer. You don't just raise taxes. You have to first of all attune your mind to the fact that there must be an existing economy where the larger percentage of people are employed. The current employment rate of Osun, I don't think is more than 5%. We have informal sector who at times when they go to work in a week, they might not even make 10,000 naira. It is the employment that you must first of all raise. It is not a direct question that you raise taxes. No tax expert we want to raise tax in an environment where the employment rate is very, very low. So I don't talk about taxes just like that. First of all, it is the economy. After economy, then you talk about employment. After employment, then you talk about taxes. That is the order. That is the chain.
All right. The APC candidate, silence please. The APC candidate, is your turn.
Well, the issue is that I've been managing the resources of this state judiciously. I've been making my obligations and I'm still doing infrastructure. So for them, if there is a need for them to come and learn the process, I'm willing to let them know. You see, you must be creative enough. You can't lament about debt. Debt will come if you're talking of development. But you must ensure you are able to manage your cash flow in a way you meet your obligations. I've not added to the loan portfolio that we have, but I've managed to pay so much of it. I reduced it by about 80 billion. So, in the process of all of that, and I've improved on the tax collection without imposing additional tax. I've blocked leakages we are talking about. I've done that. That's why even the IGR has increased from about 17.9% to 17.9 billion to 21.5 billion now. But for COVID, we have done better. But you know, COVID took about 1 year of our life. And that's the truth.
All right, thank you, Governor. Dr. Gumi, silence, please. There is a concept called wealth at the bottom of the pyramid. If you don't create entrepreneurs within an economy, there's nobody who will pay taxes. For us, Osun State has massive and rich agriculture. We have 9,100 kilometers of land. So I will introduce commodity board, I will introduce marketing board, and government will be the last buyer of last resort. Again, I will create job. I will, for example, if we do election or local government election, that will create at least 4,000 jobs. People will have resources to pay taxes. People will have resources to be independent, and they will be entrepreneur. So if you create more entrepreneur within the system, if you create self-sustaining people within the system, then you can tax. Because the only way you can fund your budget is through taxes. There's nothing bad in borrowing. If you borrow, you must ensure that what you borrow is you are able to put it in an investment program that's able to pay back that loan. But the way it is today, they borrow money, they put it in project, and nobody is able to pinpoint exactly what the project is about.
Thank you, Dr. Ogumi. Thank you so much, everyone. We go for another break, and when we come back, the issue of education and unemployment takes our attention, and we will also be testing the fitness of the candidates on stage for the office in which they stand to contest for. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you so much for staying with us. Don't forget that we are live on Channels Television and on the local television stations. OSRC and OSRC TV and radio are broadcasting these in Yoruba language, and Raid FM here in Osogbo also are partnering and broadcasting these. So let's get into education, and I begin with Dr. Akin Ogunbiyi. In the 2021 WAEC ranking, Osun State was ranked 24th out of 36 states, an indication of deterioration in the quality of learning. If elected as the next governor, what would you do to improve the quality of education and also ensure that education is made equitable and inclusive?
Okay, thank you. First and foremost, the state of our schools, I will improve on it. I will recruit more teachers. I will ensure that teachers are well paid. And I will pay the WAEC fee of all students in public schools. I will guarantee that teachers' welfare are taken care of. I will train them, and I will retrain them, and I will ensure adequacy of teacher-student ratio. Again, when you look at our schools, primary school is going to be compulsory free primary education. When I said I'm the hour of this era, what I meant is we're going to be enjoying free compulsory primary education, free compulsory secondary education, and the WAEC fee of all the students are going to be paid. And of course, we are going to ensure adequate teachers are recruited for all our schools.
Thank you so much, Dr. Akin Ogunbiyi. Mr. Governor, it's your turn to answer that question. The 2021 WAEC ranking, not the best. How do you ensure that education is made equitable and inclusive?
Well, thank you. First of all, we have a quality assurance committee now that ensures that they monitor the activities of the students. I think majority of the problem come from question of truancy. They don't stay in school. If you don't stay in school, you can learn. So it is the responsibility of both the parents and teachers to ensure that their pupils attend schools regularly. In addition to that, we are supporting indigent students on WAEC payments and NECO. We've done well, I think, on NECO than WAEC. But the issue is that the issue of absenteeism in school is a major problem that we are trying to curtail by setting up the Quality Assurance Committee that goes round. Then we have Edu Marshall that try to do a kind of mentoring for these students to ensure they stay in school. I think with that we'll be able to improve on the quality of performance in WAEC.
Honorable Lasun Yusuf.
Yeah, thank you very much. We all know that education is best legacy anybody can give to a generation. I think I'm here today because probably I'm speaking to the world because I'm educated. When I was in the House of Representatives, In the 8 years of that seat, I rebuilt 17 schools, including my primary school and my secondary school. And so I know what education is all about. But what have I found out? Students are no longer willing to be educated. They don't even want to go to school again. And with all due apology, we have to take a critical look into our teaching strength too, so that teachers don't become secondary job. It must be people who are interested in wanting to teach. So we are going to look at the attitude of the student and areas of teaching. And I'm going to make sure that our education is what I call precision education. Let me emphasize this. In my secondary school, I didn't do further maths and technical drawing. When I got to engineering school, I tend to kind of the first and second year struggle a little bit. What it means is that we have to make sure that whoever that intends to study in engineering in future, is compulsory for him to offer further maths and technical drawing. And I'm going to concentrate on vocational studies too, because when you don't have skill, your certificate is not an ordinary paper. You must have skilled workforce that are properly trained in a well-ordered environment. So technical education too is going to be heavy on my education list.
Senator, it's your turn.
Thank you. As soon as I become governor of Osun State, I will declare a state of emergency on education. You know why? Because I went back to school when there was education controversy surrounding my education. I went back to school to be a role model to people, the young people, even adults, that it's never too late to be educated. I went there inside the gold. I studied people that could be my grandchildren. I relate with them. But today, I thank God that I'm more educated. I'm ready. I'm ready to rule Osun State. You know, and then of course, the technical school is very important. Not many people that want to go to, school, but you can go to technical school to go and learn handwork, to go and learn carpentry, to go and learn mechanic, and so forth. I will create that too. And then I will make sure, you know what? When we are growing up, we have libraries. You go to any school here, no library. The building is nothing to write home about. You must produce conducive environment for students to be able to learn.
All right. Thank you so much. Architect Omigbo, it's your turn. And so, silence please. Silence please. And it has to do with the ranking of WAEC. The ranking of WAEC in Osun State. How would you reverse that ugly trend?
Yes, perhaps I should situate that ranking more appropriately, with all due respect, than you have done thus far. We were actually in the 29th position about 3 or 4 years ago, and we are just inching up, and we are among the worst two in southwest Nigeria. When you see the other states that are ranked with us, you will weep for Osun State. 29.6% of our primary school age children are out of school. 10.5% of our secondary school age children are out of school. Now, because I'm an educationist, I understand certain things. That for you to address education properly, there are certain critical things you need to look at. The school plans, the facilities of the school. That's number one. 2, the teachers, their facilities, their training and everything. 3, the curriculum that the children have been taken through. The students themselves. And of recent, technology has also become an issue. I have spoken about the fact that I need to make sure that the software of Okoimo is brought back. All our school plans are already falling apart. They must be well taken care of. Our teachers are not being well monitored. They are very, very qualified, but they are not being monitored. The curriculum has to be dynamic, and the students have to be encouraged. Because of poverty, many of them are not going to school. They are going to sell things for their parents. That must come to an end.
Thank you so much. Because of our time, we might not be able to go into so many areas, but we'll try to coast home now. And let's talk about a bit of politics and fitness for office. I'll begin with Dr. Akin Ogunbiyi. These questions may be a bit personal about your personal life and about your background and your stance on politics. Dr. Ogunbiyi, you are seen and perceived as a very good friend of Governor Oyetola. In fact, the talk in town is that when you wanted to start your insurance company, you went to your very good friend, Governor Oyetola. There are those of your critics who believe that all you are doing is just in support of Governor Oyetola. What do you tell your supporters and the people of Osun State today?
Ladies and gentlemen, citizens at home, I am in the race for good. Yes, Governor Oyetola is a very good friend. When I was starting out, I saw him as a senior colleague. I went to him for advice. And today, I borrowed 5 million naira to start mutual benefit assurance. I've built it to a conglomerate. I have 5,000 staff. I've gone to training overseas and locally. I've gotten the experience, the capacity, and the empathy to rule Osun. I want to believe, and I want people to believe with me, that I have the integrity. I have no part whatsoever with APC or anybody whatsoever. I am going out to win the election. I'm going on to the platform of Accord, and by God's grace, Accord will win. I have always said that the government is not serving the interests of Osun people. Where are the jobs? Where are the industries? Despite the massive and rich agricultural land that we have. What about the mining? What about our youths? Nothing has been done in this area. I asked the other time, is one flyover in 12 years? Is it enough for infrastructural development? Even the one that was done on credit. He says he hasn't borrowed any money. I'm aware that road one flyover was done on credit.
Thank you so much, Dr.
So I'm not fooling with anybody. I'm going out there to fight for the position, and by God's grace, come next week Sunday, I'm winning it.
Thank you so much. Mr. Governor, you were Chief of Staff to former Governor Ralph Aregbesola, and he was perceived to have installed you as his successor, despite the hue and cry within your party, APC. But it appears both of you are falling out for some years now. How do you describe what happened between both of you? And how do you explain what some of your critics term a seeming betrayal?
Well, thank you. I think I will start from you. When we were doing the debate in 2018, you asked me a question. On single uniform policy, people say they don't want it. You become the governor, will you scrap it or you continue with it? It was tough for me to answer that question. And so what happened is, because the people wanted that reform, I went for it. And in doing so, we set up a committee headed by Professor Oluaina and others to review the education policy and come up with recommendations. And that was exactly what we did and implemented. I have no particular grudge or animosity against my former boss, so there's no problem about that. I think most times it is the people around that are making issues out of nothing. This is purely, if there's any difference at all, it's purely on governance and nothing more.
Do you regret reversing some of his policy, considering the fact that you were his chief of staff, you were part and parcel of that government?
Well, policies are supposed to be reviewed anyway. There's a distinction between a legacy and a policy. So, policies are meant to be reviewed.
Silence, please. Thank you so much, Mr. Governor.
Thank you.
Let me come to you, Honorable Lasun Yusuf. Last election, you were in APC, and you grew to becoming a deputy speaker in Nigeria of the House of Representatives. How do you explain your fallout with some of the leaders of the APC? Are you desperate to be Osun State governor?
Simple. Leaders that are vindictive, wicked, and don't allow other people to grow. I was told to my face in 2015 by somebody who I will not mention his name on camera, that if I did not listen to them, my future depends on it. I don't know how somebody will say my future depends on something he wants to collect from me. So they are vindictive, they are wicked. I'm not desperate. When I lost the primary in 2018, despite the fact that it was surrounded by controversy, people have suddenly forgotten that the issue of direct and indirect primary in Nigeria, in APC, started because they wanted to prevent Lasso to become governor of Osun State. And the fight between Adegbeshola and Oyetola is traceable to the fact that I was denied to get the ticket of APC in 2018. They are only dodging. And so I'm not desperate. But this one, I'm going to win it.
Let me, silence please, silence. Let me do silence please. There have been a lot of silence in the auditorium, please. There have been a lot of frenzy, especially on social media, since the emergence of Mr. Peter Obi and Senator Yakubu Dati as the candidate and the vice presidential candidate of your party, Labour Party. There is this popular saying, obedient. Now, considering that your party in Osun State cannot boast of such a very good structure politically compared to some others, do you think the Peter Obi effect will help your cause?
Sheung, this Osun State, they know me here. Yes, I would like Peter Obi to be associated with me, but the people of Osun State, they know me. Where I have stayed, where I've run for elections, I became the deputy speaker. People call me different names depending on which direction you are calling from. I'm the Kolaba of Ilobu, they call me Kolaba. People call me ATM, people call me Direct. So everybody, they know me. So I don't need that external fund. Let me tell you, it's delusional for politicians to think there are just two people running for governorship. I'm going to win it. I know it. They know it.
All right.
They know it.
Thank you.
So, social media, yes, but I've told the nook and cranny of Osun State. Remember when I said in 2018, when I said in 2018 that if I didn't get involved in that election, APC was not going to win. APC did not win. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 48 hours called me 5 times with Obaniko Rose phone, begged me to come and work with them.
All right, thank you so much. Senator, silence please, silence please. In a video, silence please. In a video that went viral, you were seen and heard boasting about the access to pounds, dollars, and naira to prosecute this election. Could it be to buy votes, or for what reason exactly?
Well, here we go again. I've answered this question several times, but I'm going to go ahead for the benefit of my people, of Osun people. Well, I repeat again. What I meant, that first of all, our family is known for philanthropy. We give scholarship, we give people scholarship home and abroad. So, when I was talking about the pounds, dollar, I meant I will use my international connection to bring investment into Osun State.
Silence, please go ahead.
See?
Silence, please. Please go ahead.
You know, when you are too popular, when you say one thing, they will twist it. When you talk in terms of propaganda, this present government, APC, they are the best. They will twist it, twist, and twist.
Thank you so much, Senator. Mr. Omigbodu. Now, quickly, Mr. Omigbodu. Your father was the first university graduate in Osogbo. And you've told some of your friends that you really do not want to run for an executive position because you don't want anyone chase you around for issue of corruption. At what point did you change your mind that you do not want anyone to run after you for the issue of corruption? At what point did you change your mind to run for the office of governor?
Well,
Well, I don't know where you got that information about not wanting to run for executive office. I've been appointed into executive offices before. I was chairman of the Osun State Property Development Corporation, and then I was appointed by the United Nations as the State Program Monitoring Advisor of the activities in Osun State. Those were executive offices. Yes, my father was chairman of Oshogbo District Council, and during his time, he made sure that electricity got to Oshogbo. Oshogbo, that is now state capital, had no electricity. It was when my father was chairman that the first third road got into Oshogbo. It was when my father was chairman that the first attempt, and a successful one, at introducing pipe-borne water got into Oshogbo. So if I have that history within the family, why would I not want to run for executive offices so I can create my own history by being the first governor that will generate, transmit, and distribute electricity in Nigeria?
All right, thank you very much. For the very last time, I'd like to give all the candidates opportunity to speak, but it's going to be for 30 seconds for your closing moment. And I'll begin with Dr. Akin Ogunbiyi. Your closing moment, thoughts in 30 seconds.
Citizen of Osun, I want to give you a new beginning. A new Osun is possible. Vote for Accord. Vote for Akin Ogunbiyi. Vote for productivity and prosperity. A new Osun is possible. We are number 1 on the ballot paper. It is not difficult for you to locate it. Vote for Accord. Vote accordingly. And by God's grace, I'm winning this election. Thank you.
Governor, it's your turn. 30 seconds, your closing statement.
My good people of Osun, I want to thank you again for this opportunity to serve you. I'm willing and ready to continue to serve you. We've done so much for you, and I will still continue to do just that. Please, on the 16th of July this year, I am the candidate to be.
Thank you so much, Governor. Honorable, silence please. Honorable Lasun Yusuf, you have 30 seconds for your closing statement.
Once again, my good people of Osun State, my name is Sulaiman Lasun Yusuf, an engineer, an entrepreneur, an investor, and one of your own, and the candidate of Labour Party. Our logo is the family embossed on the wheel. Vote for me, vote for entrepreneurship, vote for ingenuity, vote for viability of Osun State in the next 4 years. And I promise you, for the rest of my life, if I'm able to get it, I'm going to serve the people of Osun State.
Thank you, Senator. 30 seconds for your closing statement.
Well, my Osun people, I'm talking.
Silence, please. Please go ahead, Senator.
Please listen to me. Listen.
Go ahead, please. There's no time. Go ahead.
My fellow Osun people.
Silence. Go ahead. Silence.
Please, hear me. Stop. Please stop.
Go ahead. Your supporters have exhausted your time.
To my fellow Osun people, thank you. You voted for me in 2018. Your mandate was stolen. It is time for you to reclaim your mandate.
All right.
I'm bringing on the table integrity,
Senator,
and accountability.
Mr. Gbodu, 30 seconds for your closing statement. Please go ahead.
Zero tolerance on corruption.
Please go ahead. 30 seconds for your closing
Vote for PDP. Vote for Senator Ademola Jackson Nuruddin Adeleke. Vote for PDP. Vote for progress.
Senator, your time is up.
I love you.
Go ahead, Mr. Gbodu. Your closing statement. Silence, please. Silence.
Thank you. Let's have some silence. Osun is ranked the 15th most livable state in Nigeria today. By the grace of God, when I'm elected governor next week, Osun will become the #1 most livable state in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. What we need to do is to come out in full force. They could be out already buying the votes, having people from all over Nigeria to buy the votes. But I call on the people of Osun, come out in large numbers and vote for SDP. There is something you will be doing. You will be ending the regime of that specially armed robbery squad. that is robbing your children of their education and so many things.
Thank you so much, Mr.
So,
Migbodun.
NSAS, vote for Gokiomi Godun, vote for SDP.
Thank you so much. I must sincerely thank all of you. Just a moment. I must sincerely thank also our partners, the Situation Room, the Osun State Radio and Television, and Rave FM, and also Financial Derivatives for the research materials. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. But before we go, as a sign of sportsmanship, could you exchange pleasantries, shake hands, possibly embrace each other? Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. On behalf of Channel Television and its partners, thank you, everyone. I'm sure Kimale. Have a pleasant evening, everyone.